All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Pattison Report podcast. As always, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. And it's been a long time coming, maybe longer than I think some of us realized. We'll get into that in a second. But the A.J. Brown saga has finally reached a conclusion with him going to the Patriots, as we all started to see coming. How he did get his first-round pick in return, just not quite the way maybe he would have loved to have done it. So the full deal is A.J. Brown to the Pats in exchange for a 2028 first-round pick and the better of two fifth-round picks from New England. So close to the deal everybody expected. AJB for a first and then a sweetener. Early on in the season, I think Howie was kind of posturing it a little bit now that we know what we know. When he said, the asking price was a first and a second, then it became a first and a third. But as things came to light more and more, there was just no way you could have A.J. Brown be an Eagle this year. Howie lost a little bit of the leverage that I think we thought he had at one point. And at this point, it was probably just the best move to cut bait. A first is a first. I know the 27 class is stacked, but in 2028, we're still going to be glad to have that extra first-round pick, assuming this team stays competitive. Otherwise, it's going to be a chance to add two top-flight college guys to an already talented team. So I'm personally A-okay with the deal. I think it's the best Howie could get with the leverage that was becoming clearer and clearer. Some people disagree with me. Some people think that, the Patriots made out too good on this deal. I'm curious kind of where you land.
I'm perfectly fine with it in 28. You were never going to get the 27 first. Teams aren't shipping those out at all unless, you're the Rams, and the Rams are probably going to finish with the bottom 3 pick in the first round. So, what does that matter,
Yeah.
So, it's just, as a GM thing, I'm okay with it because if there's a guy in 27 you really want, you could use that 28 pick as leverage. You could use it next year. You could use it the year after. Who knows? The Patriots might be bad. That pick might increase in value for 28. I'm perfectly content with it as long as it was a first. I've been saying that forever now. Now that we finally got the first, I could say I'm perfectly happy with it. And yeah, did you see AJ Brown said he was leaking all this stuff?
Yeah, we're going to spend 10 minutes of this at least on the drama. But I saw somebody kind of connect the dots from the initial AJ Brown trade. And I think when you really zoom out and look at it, if you're an Eagle fan, you're going to do that deal 10 out of 10 times. I know how it ended. I know how his time here was a little bit contentious, maybe off the field, especially these last 2 years. But when you look back at it, how he traded a first and a third for A.J. Brown from Tennessee to completely revamp this offense and start building this Avengers-style Eagles offense that we've been fortunate enough to watch for the last 4 years, even though it hasn't always felt like it, a.k.a. last year. But when you look back at it, it's 4 years of some of the best wide receiver play of any Eagle ever. Almost 5,000 yards in 4 seasons. You obviously had the Super Bowl win, touchdown catches in both Super Bowls, and you turn around and flip that guy for another first and a fifth. I'm looking at this as we got 4 years of prime A.J. Brown for a third-round pick. I'm so okay with that.
Yeah, you got to be okay with that. I mean, you won those Super Bowl, and I think this trade extends the window. I don't know how open the window is this year with that Rams roster at this point.
They're loaded.
But, no team's unbeatable. But beyond this, it allows them to keep the defense intact. It's going to allow them to extend Q and Coop and Jalen Carter and, all these guys, and maybe Nolan Smith if he steps up his game a little bit. It's going to allow the window to extend because that's another premium pick that they could use on either replacing one of these guys on defense or making the offense way cheaper. So how he's got something a lot of GMs don't have, because if you trade it for a 28 first round pick, odds are the GM might not be able to make it if your team is not good.
Yeah.
Howie has a 100% chance of making that pick unless he doesn't want to make that pick himself.
Which he's young enough. I don't think there's any.
Exactly.
Yeah.
he's fine. He's not going anywhere. It's more so that I'm saying that he would have to retire, step away from the game of football to not make that pick. He's gonna make it. He's gonna be here. So
Yeah, and that's just one of the perks of the locker room issues. 1 year thing, probably not a huge deal. Whatever. If you still zoom out and look at the Eagles as like an organization, as a franchise, like really find me one that is operating on as high of a level as we are. Like you hear a lot of analysts say, a lot of GMs won't trade for that pick a year out because somebody else could be making like their job is that tenuous. It goes to show again how he's able to operate, knowing that he has the amount of job security and support that he has from Lurie and the organization. It lets Howie be Howie. He'd be a great GM regardless, but if he didn't have someone like Lurie running the show, kind of going hands off, he wouldn't be able to take some of the big swings that he does. He wouldn't be able to backload these contracts the way that he does. Like he has the perfect scenario to operate the way he likes to operate. And this was a perfect example of that. Another GM probably would have had to take a lesser pick in 27 to guarantee that they're there to make the pick. Howie's job security let us wait and get a first.
yeah, you could count on maybe one hand, maybe, you might have to go to the second hand for GMs with that kind of job security. You got like Les Snead with the Rams and Jason Light with the Buccaneers, but there's not more than that. So it's really nice to have such a perfect scenario. And like I said, Howie's setting this team up for after the new TV deal. You see all the dead cap money, you see all the money spread out. Obviously, AJ Brown has a big cap hit that we're going to eat next year. We're going to eat the bigger half of that next year. I believe what was it, 24 or 34?
Yeah, we're on the hook for I think 17 this year, then the balance next year. So, I mean, not great, but a necessary evil.
Yeah, very necessary. But like I said, first round pick is a first round pick, no matter what.
Yeah.
And NIL might force some of these guys back to school in 27. The ever changing landscape of NIL might, because say, yeah, I'm just gonna use this as an example. Like Cam Coleman, he wants to be wide receiver one in his class. He's fantastic. He's amazing. He's going to play with Arch this year. What happens if he doesn't want to compete with Jeremiah Smith for wide receiver one and, get a higher draft pick in 2028? Like there's multiple scenarios with that, with all these talented players in 27 that say, hey, I could collect another year of NIL paycheck money that's, just not quite as good, but comparable. Come out next year, get a better contract, and, maybe play for a better team.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. And again, we're looking at this as it had to happen, and we're making the best of the situation because that's really the way you have to look at the AJ Brown scenario. During the season, it felt like a reach. It felt like you didn't have to do it; you could fix it, whatever. As the offseason went along, it became obvious that he had to play somewhere else. It's untenable to bring him back. And you heard it from guys, like really well-respected locker room guys. Like when Jordan Mailata says something, I tend to take notice. And I thought his comments were very noteworthy when he was like, it's over. We're moving on as a team. We've already moved on. Like before he was traded, the Eagles were operating as if he's not one of us anymore. We're moving forward without him. And I think that speaks volumes as to how things had gotten in that locker room with A.J. Brown. And he was a hell of a receiver. He was a great talent as an Eagle receiver, but we've been down this road, man. We saw, Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens tear each other apart, and I think it was smart on Howie's part to not do that again, not try to force it for the sake of talent, because just from watching this team a little bit in this offseason, you're hearing an excitement that's back. We'll talk about Sean Mannion at some point. The guys seem to love the system. Jalen's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. You've seen some fun content come out about the team where they're, shooting 3 balls at St. Joe's and stuff. Like it just seems like a cloud's been lifted off of this offense. And I'm sure, a lot of it was the system last year, but more and more seems like it might've been AJ Brown.
Yeah, every hit piece, every piece of shredded drama sounds like it came from him. I mean, You
He
know,
admitted to it, kind of like you were alluding to earlier. He kind of admitted to it.
I have to watch. Did you see the 25-minute video on Twitter about like the whole drama and everything? I have to watch that. I favorited it.
His one-on-one.
No, not the one-on-one. It was something else. Let me look real quick. I'll find that.
Okay, I did watch his one-on-one, and I thought that was a lot of PR bullshit. Like
It wasn't the one-on-one. It
okay.
was 25 minutes of straight evidence, I think.
Oh, okay. It was this. Look, I'm sure some of this happened. I do find it. Look, I do find it a little bit rich, and these are my own people. I love Eagle fans, but we rioted in the streets when Josina Anderson and other like NFL insiders with phones, with contacts, with all these other people plugged into the organization were saying he's a problem, he's a problem, he's a problem. And we sat here on this podcast and went, it's a hit piece. The Eagles get clicks. So I'm just saying, these are credentialed media members, and we were like, bullshit, no way. And then a dude on Twitter cooks up a 25-minute conspiracy theory,
like,
and the entire fan base is like, yes, that's what happened.
That's our guy.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I do find it a little bit rich.
I understand that. There's just a lot of evidence. Like, you could point to that jump ball against Denver at the end of the game where he basically tackled Devontae Smith, and we all brushed off like, hey, he was going for the ball. He wanted the ball. I don't know personally deep down anymore whether that's the truth or not. Like, it makes me question these things of like, how bad was last season really? Like, his drops, was he checked out? Did he want to sabotage Jalen? Like, there's a lot of questions that I have that we're not going to get answers to.
Somebody made a compilation of A.J. Brown 2025 blocking, and that's another really fun one. Because you'll see him just like lightly jog out and just hit him with one of these, and then you're right. When you go back and look at it through this lens, it's like, oh, this dude didn't give a fuck after week 4. Like, just not even remotely close to caring.
They were 4-0.
And that, I'm glad. I want to talk about that for a little bit because I forget who I saw. There's been a couple media members. Oh, it was New England media, like New England radio show. I don't know if you've seen this clip, but it was New England WIP kind of talking about like, well, slow your roll here, people. Like, celebrating that we got A.J. Brown. Like, this guy's coming from a team who was 4-0 and he was throwing a temper tantrum. This team just won a Super Bowl and he said he was unhappy. Like, you're getting a guy who pretty clearly, publicly, loudly said, I don't care about team success if I'm not getting the ball. Like, wide receivers force themselves out of bad situations all the time. They're divas. He forced himself out of a situation where 4 years, 5,000 receiving yards, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a win. The team's 4-0, and he's causing a problem. If I'm New England, that's exactly what I hope to do. But am I going to be 8-0 and A.J. Brown's on pace for 800 yards for the season and he's going to throw a fit? I'm worried about that if I'm them.
Yeah, I'm worried about that as well if I was them. And, you have everything else. You have the degenerative knee. You have him slowing down a little bit. His top speed wasn't as fast. Maybe it's because he checked out so early. I couldn't tell you. But, man, I wish personally from a just a fantasy, like, NFL perspective, I wish they would have waited a year for Justin Jefferson because I think that's coming. That's coming down the pipe, especially if Kyler doesn't play well. He's going to get out of Minnesota. So, like you said, you're right with those wide receivers. They want to put up stats, and it's really crazy that he checked out in a 4-0 team that was really good where, he was the focal point for so long until Saquon got there, and then Saquon was the focal point, and there is a lot of evidence. I'm not going to say there's 25 minutes of straight evidence, but man, when Smitty outperformed him and he was just kind of like throwing a fit in the sideline like that, we should have known. We should have known. We should.
But even still, like, I mean, and this year everybody had a bad year on offense relative to what the Eagles are used to. But Saquon went for 1,000. Devontae went for 1,000. AJB went for 1,000. So, I mean, it's not like he was all of a sudden forgotten and buried in this offense. He was a 1,000-yard guy. Now, I get it. We're playing 17 weeks now. It's not quite the same accomplishment as it was, but still, it's just this idea that he was fed the ball. When he asked to be a focal point, we started force feeding him the ball, which hurt the team, helped him, didn't care. And then you have, I think what hurts him with the Eagles is you have this other guy, and you brought up Smitty, who's just the anti-wide receiver. Like, you don't hear from him. He goes about his business. He does his job. And without A.J. Brown and an offense tailored to him, Devontae Smith can put up JSN-type numbers. He's that good. He could go for 120 a game. Like, he has the skill set to do that. But you don't hear from him. Like, he's the opposite of A.J. Brown. So when you have two of those guys on the same team, both in the same scenario, both alphas, both ones, one of them just does what it takes to win, and the other one's crying every week, it makes A.J. look even worse.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I was looking up wide receiver contracts because he's making $25 million a year, and that's less than Christian Watson at this point. That's less than Alec Pierce.
He's affordable.
Less than Brandon Ayuk. Like, it's kind of crazy that he's averaging less than these guys a year, and he's better than them. And you don't hear a word of, hey, I need a new contract. I'm the focal point of the offense. You just don't hear anything from him. I think, like I said, I think Christian Watson passed him today with that $100 million. So, like, if he's making less than Christian
Watson, it's 4 years, 100, so it's close. Yeah,
I think it's 110. So it's got Smitty makes 25 a year. So
yeah. So
depending on the guarantees, it's probably less. So
and he didn't even reset the market when he signed.
No, he took a friendly deal, and like, it's kind of crazy how different he is from A.J. Brown. Like, they're polar opposites.
I'm excited for Smitty to finally. He should get the C back this year, I think. He's going to be the focal point of the offense. I want to look at our offense a little bit because I'm not as down on this team as I think a lot of people are. There's no way to get better when you trade A.J. Brown and don't return a similar talent. I get that. The offense is not going to be as talented as it was last year. But again, we were talking about A.J. Brown's a foregone conclusion. You couldn't bring him back. Pretend like he left in free agency. He was never coming back. Given the scenario, I think they did a decent job taking flyers on a bunch of guys who could pop off for a season. Hollywood Brown's obviously a burner. He's this great speed threat. Mekhi Lemon, great season at USC. We'll see what he can give you as a rookie. We got the two guys from the Packers. I'm blanking on Dontavion Wicks. I actually like Dontavion Wicks. I think nobody's gotten.
I was a truther. I've been a truther for so long.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has gotten his full potential out of him yet. I think he could be a really good wide receiver too on this team, especially with Sean Mannion coming along for the ride. So I'm not that down on that receiving core. I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, Lemon's hamstring kind of concerns me a little bit to have a hammy this early.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of shape were you in?
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping an eye out there. I mean, he was a great separator at USC, but man, if you don't have the hammy, but you also have Eli Stowers in there who
I forgot about it.
You have Dallas Goedert still, who, man, him coming back on that revised deal saved this team. It feels like.
Right now, absolutely, because he's probably coming into the season until Jalen gets comfortable with these guys. He's your third option.
Yeah, he's second in the passing game, and
it's
going to be, it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy start for the offense, but the defense is absolutely otherworldly and can keep them in any game. That's the reason I think they could keep up with the Rams. I mean, it's going to be tough, but it's just an all-out race in the NFC because you have the whole NFC North that's, very competent. You have, I wouldn't say anyone
two up there. You have the Packers and the Bears, I would say, that you have to worry about.
Yeah, the Lions have kind of regressed a little bit. Maybe Kyler's great. Who knows if he turns back the clock? It's just you got to get this offense humming early, and maybe it's throws across the middle. Maybe it's spreading the wealth to everybody.
Yeah,
it's gonna be nice to have a new look offense in there because Kevin Patullo, he's teaming up with Bobby Slowick in Miami. That's a combination.
It is, especially going from like an offensive genius and Mike McDaniel. Not a great head coach. I think anybody would agree with that, but one hell of an offensive mind. So that's gonna be a whole new world for those boys down there. But
Yeah.
I mean, everything out of camp so far, guys seem to love the offense. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that. I think we talked a little bit about how much of Sirianni talking about Mannion. It's probably 50% coach speak, 50% legit. Like I do think the guy's a hard worker. He probably is brilliant.
I didn't know if he was real for a while there.
Yeah.
The Eagles Twitter was like, "Is this guy real? We haven't had an intro press conference, and it's like June."
Yeah, no, he's Sean Mannion's AI. But no, I'm excited. So I think there's AJ Brown leaving is a bummer. I'm going to look back on his time here fondly. I don't really care what his relationship was with the guys in the locker room. As an Eagle fan, every Super Bowl means the world to us because we only have 2. So if you come here and you bring me a Super Bowl and a parade, you're A-okay in my eyes. It was time for it to end, but I'm going to look back on the A.J. Brown era fondly because it was awesome to watch when he was right.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch when he was right. And, maybe he'll find some new success in New England, but I really don't want to see no Drake May hit pieces coming out in week 4 or 5.
I do. If now you did that shit here, take it up there too.
That's fair. I like Drake May though. I like Jalen too though, so I can't say that you're right.
Yeah, but across the parking lot, things are looking up as well. The Phillies, powered by their starting pitching, and we'll get into Chris Sanchez here in a minute. But on the back of the starting pitching, the Phils have swept the season series against the Padres, winning all 6 of those. Had a pretty good series out in LA. It's been a tough run. I mean, Padres are a good team. Dodgers are a good team. They're playing playoff teams, and they're playing them well. They're not hitting worth a damn, which, I mean, the Phillies, so sky's blue, grass is green, bats are cold. But the pitching has just been so sensational that it hasn't really mattered. Obviously, Christopher Sanchez is the headliner, deservedly so. His streak of scoreless innings ends at 50 2/3. It is the longest all time for a lefty. Top 5 all time in general. I believe he's 3rd on the all time list, falling about 8 innings short of the record. But almost as impressively, not quite as long yet, but Zach Wheeler has been unbelievable as well. Both the guys, after Wheeler's last outing, they are both under 2 ERA for the season. So the Phillies 1-2 punch on the mound is as good as any in baseball right now.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that, especially when your bats outside of Schwarber and Harper can't do anything. I mean,
and Marsh, you got to throw Marsh.
I forgot Marsh.
He leads the NL in batting average.
Mister number 2 all time in balls, batting average on balls in play. My bad.
Yeah, Marsh has been red hot this year.
Yeah, he's been incredible. That's on me. But everyone else, the other 6 guys, like, it's been rough. It's been really bad, and you know what's going to happen. We're going to go to the deadline. Dave's going to be like, look at this prospect in our farm system. Let's get a rental
out of those, man. Who's he going to move? Who's your trade chip now?
I don't know, man. He's going to find somebody, and it's going to be a rental bat, and it's just not going to work out, and it's going to be you know the playbook.
I know. He can't. Dave doesn't know corner outfields from a hole in the ground. Like, he just can't pick corner outfield. Adolis Garcia, I thought it was really hard to come into that right field situation and upset the fans and more than Nick Castellanos did. And he's found a way impressively.
I don't know how.
He's a very good right fielder.
It's better than Nick.
He's a worse hitter than Nick.
Yeah, I'll take the trade off, man. We can't hit anyway. What's the difference?
Yeah, at least he's playing.
Yeah, we need good fielders.
Today. He had a nuke today. I think it was 430 feet, so maybe that broke him out of something. But
hopefully,
thank God. Again, I don't give Dave credit for much because he's whiffed on an awful lot. But thank God that this starting pitching is so ungodly good, because where would this team be without him? We hadn't scored over 3 runs in 14 games. With an average to below average starting staff, we would have been 0-14 possibly. Down
with the Mets, probably below them.
Yeah.
We'd be gearing up for a number 1 draft pick next year, honestly.
Yeah. And, what's it called? Obviously, Chris and Zach are the headliners because they're just so damn good. But Nola has quietly righted the ship. You can pretty much count on him right now for 6 innings, about 3 runs or so, which if you told me that preseason for Nola, I'm fine with that. He'll pitch to a high 3 ERA, low 4 ERA. That's all I'm going to get out of Aaron Nola right now, and that's okay. Luzardo has shown that he's starting to turn things around. The stuff looks better. The only guy who's very up and down right now is Aiden Miller. Unfortunately, that fastball is.
You mean
not
Painter?
Really
You're thinking the
Oh
other
yeah,
one.
no, I'm thinking Andrew Painter.
You're thinking of the trade chip that's broke his back apparently or whatever.
Yeah. Andrew Painter. That fastball is probably overpowering at the lower levels, but if you're going to throw 98 with no movement, you're going to get teed off on up here. And unfortunately, that's kind of been the case as of late here.
Yeah, I mean, it's his ERA is what in the 5s, I think.
Yeah, it's
not looking pretty. Yeah, Philly's Twitter has used this as a prime opportunity to say trade all your prospects, Dave, please.
I mean, the thing is, I don't think that's necessarily the answer either. One, our prospects aren't that good, and 2, I don't care what you do. I'm just not sure this team has a run in it. The pitching staff is so good that if the bats were even average, I would say maybe put your chips in, but they're not.
Did we talk about Murakami here, or was that me with my friends? I'm trying to remember. Like,
I don't think we talked about it on the show.
Like, he was right there. No team wanted him.
No.
And every fan was like, "Yo, this guy's pretty good." And every GM's like, "No, you're just watching highlights. He's terrible." I mean, he's hurt right now, but he's leading the league in homers, or he's right behind Kyle. Like,
yeah. And look, he doesn't hit for average. Nobody on this team does. I don't care. Go get me Asian Kyle Schwarber. That's fine. I'll take 2 of them. If I have 2 guys hitting 20 bombs at 230 batting average, I'll live with that. You sold me a bill of goods in right field who's not hitting for power. He's hitting 190.
And I don't know how to fix this. Like, I was looking around, like, man, I
was Rosarena out there again. Couldn't we write that wrong?
I don't know. I think the Mariners are getting better.
Okay, yeah, because he was a target at one point.
I think they're right in the ship. This is way out there, and it's probably it's not going to happen. And it's just stupid hypotheticals. Man, I'd love to go out there and just get Scooble and say, we can't hit.
Just put together the Avengers on the mound.
So just go Scooble, Sanchez, Wheeler. If we lose 3 games in a row, man, just fire everybody. Like,
I don't hate it at this point. Like, if you're Dave, like, you're probably canned after this season anyway, so go down swinging.
Go for it, man. I mean, there's probably not going to be baseball next year, so, like...
That's the other thing. What do you have to lose? By the time baseball comes back, everyone's going to forget what you did.
To be... it's a fun hypothetical, but the Dodgers would top our offer in any hypothetical. They'd be like, okay, here's one prospect. It's better than anything you have. Sorry.
Yeah, and they'll already have an extension set up for Scooble. But man, that would be fun. Like, I'm still watching the games. I still like this team, especially whenever Zach, Chris, or honestly, I like watching Luzardo pitch too. When those guys are on the bump, I tune in. Yeah. But man, you want to get me all the way back in, do some crazy shit like that. Like, put the 4 aces back together and let's see how far they can take us. I mean,
it's probably not going to happen, but Buster Olney did mention them. He snuck in the Phillies. I don't know if you saw that. He snuck them in. He said the usual suspects like the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Phillies. Like, he snuck that in.
That means phone calls have occurred when Dave was at least like, hey, Detroit, talk to me here. What are we looking at? And I'm telling you, if the offer is at all palatable, Dave, I beg of you, you're fired regardless. Just do it.
I mean, the only thing that would save his job would be a trophy.
Yeah, I think he's got to win the pennant to save his job. You got to win the NL.
Yeah, how else are you doing a pennant going games 1, 2, 3 with those guys, and then having Luzardo for a game 4?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to know
though.
You're a dead man walking. Just empty the clip, trade the entire AAA roster, and go get Eric Scooble.
He's done it before. He's done it everywhere he's been. He's done it with Boston. He's done it with Detroit. He doesn't have that, patented Dave move yet. We've mentioned that as well before on this podcast. There's usually a move. I forget what it was. Was it Sale in Boston? It might have been Sale in Boston. And
every team he's left, he's emptied their farm system for one big swing. And
this is it.
He's kind of emptied our farm system, but it's been on a bunch of like bullshit deadline relievers and stuff. Like, I'm giving them the license. I don't care if we're bad for another 5 or 6 years. We're probably going to be anyway with the contracts that we have. We don't have we have a manager that's given us 1 year at best. We have a GM who's going to get canned. We have nothing to lose. Like, Dave, go hog wild. This is MLB The Show, the franchise at this point.
I just thought I'd throw that out there because, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the trade market for hitters right now, so I couldn't really tell you who's on the market. It's no one near the level of what Scooble would be for, So might as well go for it. I mean,
Scooble is having Cole Hamels and Cliff Lee and going, you know what, grab Roy Halladay too.
Exactly. You know what you could do? I saw this suggested. I mean, Wheeler's money expires in 2 years. So if you have this year, the lockout, Wheeler's done after 28. So it's just 1 year of extra money. And then you just basically put Wheeler's money where Scooble is.
Yeah. I'm
just saying.
I'm all for it. Like I said, let's get nuts. But we'll have to wait and see what Dave does at the deadline. If that trade happens, we will be on here for an emergency pod without a doubt. But
within the hour, probably.
Within the hour, yeah, we'll leave our jobs. But
I'll be right here.
Such a time that happens, I'm Brandon. He's still Ryan. This is the Passing Report, and we'll see you next time.